Hello, my name is Patrick Jamieson, and I'm the product manager for IRIS for Health. What I would like to show you fairly briefly is a tour of a new feature in IRIS for Health called API Manager. We've released that at the end of last year, but what's unique here is that the API Manager can be used to make FHIR development much easier than it is with traditional environments. And that's what I'd like to show you. FHIR is a complex standard, as you may know, and many of our customers have been asking us for more documentation, code snippets, and other things to help them with FHIR development. That's what we've accomplished by using our development portal with the API Manager. The API Manager has a lot of capabilities, not just for development, but also for management of APIs. We don't have time to go into all those capabilities. So what I'd like to show you is just how easy it is to do FHIR development using the development portal on the API Manager. So this is the opening screen to the API Manager, building with IAM. If we go into the documentation section, you could see that we can upload what is called an API catalog. And this API catalog that I'm showing you is a catalog of FHIR resources that we've created using the Open API specification. Now, FHIR has a very detailed documentation on their website, but one thing it lacks is it does not have Open API specifications to really use with tools such as this development portal to make FHIR requests easier for beginners. So we've created these definitions so that you can test and learn how to issue requests in a number of different languages without really getting into the weeds of the documentation. With this developer catalog, you can select a particular resource that you would like to try to, for example, query a FHIR server. So let's select here the FHIR R4 practitioner resource. When we do that, we see that we could do different types of API requests. For example, we could post a patient. If we were to do that, we would see that we would have to create a model of that practitioner, which has quite a few fields. We're not going to do that today. What we're going to look at is how we could get patients out of a FHIR repository. And this is using our FHIR R4 repository. One of the simplest things we could do is just get back a resource based on the ID of the practitioner. So here I'm going to test an endpoint. I'm just going to load in here and I'm going to put number 1. And I'm going to make that API call. And what you're going to see is that request can be is translated into curl and HTTP so that you didn't have to type that. That's what you would normally have to type at the command line to make that request. Here, the API Development Manager portal does that for you. You get back a server response so you know that this query was successful, and then you could see the response body here that shows you the information that came back from the FHIR response. What's really nice about this too is that let's say you were using a number of different client languages to make that request, like JavaScript, Shell, Python, or Ruby. You could just simply cut and paste these different code snippets directly into your code, thereby making that initial development go faster. And it would be definitely, hopefully, more intuitive and easier. So let's take another example. One of the things that people don't know when they start out in FHIR frequently is they don't know, well, you got all these resources. What can I query for? What is available to query? Well, in the case of practitioner, you see the various parameters that are available to you to query. So let's say we wanted to do something like query a specific city for practitioners. So we'll go ahead and test another endpoint. We'll come down to address city, and we'll type in Westfield. Now we'll come down and we'll make this API call. And here again, you'll see that we got a server response of 200. And let's just take a look. Yeah, here's Westfield. As you could see in our request, this is how it would be translated into curl and how it would look, again, if we did this with a HTTP request. And here you're seeing that we're getting a FHIR bundle back, not just one resource, but in this we have a total of 9 resources. So you could see again all those resources coming back. And if you wanted to, you could download them and inspect them using your desktop. And again, all those requests would be translated into several client languages that you could use to make that request very easy for you to incorporate into your own code. This is just really part of what the InterSystems API Manager can do. This focuses on really the discovery and the creation of FHIR requests. There's a lot more capabilities in terms of managing it, like logging, security, and routing that we could talk about at another time. But I hope this gives you a feel for what IAM could do and how it really makes FHIR a lot easier to use. Thank you very much.